What's going on, everyone? It's Adrian from Draft Time, and welcome to another top value picks, sleepers, and studs video. So in this video, I'm going to give you my picks for FanDuel and DraftKings for tonight, which is January 29th. We have a 6-game slate tonight. And before I get into my picks, I'm going to go through some quick injury updates. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to give you my top lineup that's generated for FanDuel and DraftKings by using our Draft Time lineup optimizer, which you can access on drafttime.com. So first of all, as far as injuries go, there's some pretty key injuries you need to keep an eye on tonight. So first of all, James Harden is listed as questionable. So if he does in fact miss, then that's going to add a lot more value to guys like Daniel House, even Russell Westbrook. Also, Clint Capella is questionable, so that will also add some value to a lot of the guys on the Rockets. You know, maybe someone like a PJ Tucker. So you want to keep an eye out for that. As far as the Pistons game, Andre Drummond is listed as questionable. So if Drummond does miss the game, then I think Christian Wood is a no-brainer. Miles Turner and Malcolm Brogdon are both listed as questionable for the Pacers tonight. You actually have Victor Oladipo returning tonight. If those guys miss, then you might want to consider picking up Oladipo because he's only $4,000. Also, guys like, maybe Domantas Sabonis will get a little boost to their value, and even TJ McConnell if Brogdon ends up missing the game. So let me get into my top value, and that's going to be Jakob Poeltl for the San Antonio Spurs. He is $4,400 on FanDuel, and we're projecting him to score 32.84 fantasy points on FanDuel. And he is $5,600 on DraftKings, and we're projecting him to score 30.9 fantasy points on DraftKings. Now, he's averaging 25 over his last 5. Okay, but he's getting the start with LaMarcus Aldridge out. You're talking about a guy who is incredibly productive in the limited amount of minutes that he does get. He's averaging 1.2 fantasy points per minute on the season. Okay, in the last game that he played, he started because LaMarcus Aldridge was out, and he played 36 minutes and he dropped 40.1 fantasy points. Okay, now in the only 2 games this season that he's played over 30 minutes, he scored 40 points in both of them. So tonight it's a no-brainer. He's the top value pick, and he's probably going to be heavily owned, but you still have to take him. He's a blocking machine. I mean, this guy gets a ton of blocks. So added value on FanDuel because they give you the 3 points per block. Top value pick, no-brainer. So my top stud for FanDuel tonight is going to be Damian Lillard. He's $9,800, and we're projecting him to score 47.91. As far as some of the other studs tonight, on FanDuel, Westbrook is $11,000. So that's why I'm choosing Damian over Westbrook. Harden's questionable, so you can't really choose him as your top stud now. And you got someone like Kyrie. He's playing tonight, but he's, who knows what you're going to get out of Kyrie tonight. He's really shaken up from the whole Kobe situation. So my top stud for FanDuel is going to be Damian Lillard. Now, Lillard's actually averaging 64.3 fantasy points over his last 5 games, and he's going up against a bad Houston defense, especially against opposing point guards. And he's under $10,000. So, it's not often you see a stud like that under $10,000. So he's my top value pick for FanDuel. Now, DraftKings, on the other hand, my top value pick is going to be Westbrook. He's $10,400, and we're projecting him to score 53.34 fantasy points. So he's actually cheaper than Lillard on DraftKings by $100. And this pick would become even more valuable if Harden, in fact, ends up missing the game tonight. Similar to Damian Lillard, Westbrook has also been killing it lately. So he's my top stud on DraftKings. Not necessarily my top stud on FanDuel because, again, he's $11,000 on FanDuel while Damian Lillard's $9,800, okay? Now, let me go ahead and get into my top sleeper, and this is for both FanDuel and DraftKings, and this is going to be Christian Wood, okay? He's $3,800 on FanDuel, and we're projecting him to score 19.78 on FanDuel, and he's $4,500 on DraftKings, and we're projecting him to score 19.55. So Christian Wood is a sleeper, as in he's not going to be heavily owned, unless Andre Drummond actually misses the game and that news comes out before lock. Now, if that news comes out before lock, then everyone's going to be all over Christian Wood, and he's not really going to be a quote-unquote sleeper. But if the news doesn't come out, or if the news does come out and it says that Drummond's actually going to play, I still think that Christian Wood is a good sleeper pick. He's pretty cheap on both FanDuel and DraftKings, and he's had some huge games this season. I mean, if you go and you look at some of the top the top lineups, a lot of them have Christian Wood in it, like a lot of the $100,000 lineups from earlier this season. Now, Christian Wood has had 10 30 fantasy point games this season, and he's had 3 40-point fantasy games this season. So he's capable of having a very big game. And even if Drummond does play, it's very possible that Drummond could get into some foul trouble, and Christian Wood end up playing a lot more minutes. But even if he doesn't have a huge game, a 30 or 40 plus fantasy point game, he's still averaging 22 points over his last 5, and being relatively low priced, there's not a lot of downside to Christian Wood, so he's my top sleeper for tonight. But anyways, with all that being said, let's go ahead and run the lineup optimization tool, which you can access on drafttime.com, and let's go ahead and run it for DraftKings first. So for DraftKings, you got DeJounte Murray, Kyrie Irving, Russell Westbrook, CJ McCollum, Joe Ingles, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Rudy Gay, and Jakob Poeltl. Okay, now let's go ahead and let's run it for FanDuel. And for FanDuel, you got DeJounte Murray, Damian Lillard, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Zach LaVine, Marcus Morris, Danilo Gallinari, Julius Randle, Domantas Sabonis, and Jakob Poeltl. Okay, now again, you want to pay attention to those big injuries that I mentioned earlier, because those are some pretty big names, and if they end up missing, it's going to change everything. So make sure you update before lock. Sign up for a free 7-day trial, and make sure you update before lock. Let me know if you have any questions or any concerns about any of my picks or any of my projections. Be sure to leave a comment in the comment section. And if you aren't already subscribed to my channel, make sure you subscribe. I'm going to be posting a lot more daily fantasy basketball related content. So anyways, good luck to everyone tonight. Peace.